is straight talk for real life situations. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for television talk show host Ramay Rodriguez.
Hello, everyone. I apologize for that. I was experiencing little technical difficulties. I'm so glad to have you here today. Please excuse me. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties that I was experiencing. Nonetheless, I am just so glad to be back with you all. As you know, I was not feeling really well. Uh, a few, I had been well, but I had to address that. But now that I'm back, I want to thank everybody for being here with me. It is definitely a blessing to have you all watching my program today. Nevertheless, this is a day that the Lord has made. The earth shall rejoice and be glad in it. You have to excuse me, making a few little adjustments right here. But nevertheless, I am here with you, and you are here with me. And this is a glorious place to be, especially in this day and age in the world when so many things are happening that are beyond our control. We just need to realize that God is God and let God be God all the time. Amen. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and go on into to broadcast as I on the Endure Entertainment Network, BFTM, that we were going to be discussing the entanglement at the Oscars. Why? Why? Just why is what I entitled it. The entanglement that happened at the Oscars on March 27th, which the whole world saw. Um, and that is such a prestigious award ceremony that for anything to go wrong or anything to be less than what it's the people that are a part of the show in the creation aspect, or people that will be awarded, and those that are watching will see anything that is less than the standards that that particular award stands for is considered to be something that's really um, uh, not something that puts the entertainment industry at large in a good light, and that means worldwide because our motion pictures are shown worldwide. So we just have to reflect on everything that this show stands for, and just hope that next time things are better. But with that said, this Friday, the Oscar Board of Directors banned Will Smith, who was the actor who slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. They banned him from the Oscar ceremony for 10 years. Now, the slap was in response to a joke that Chris Rock made about Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. And it, because he slapped him, slap Chris Rock, that's an indication that Will Smith felt like the joke was in poor taste. Nevertheless, since the incident happened, rather, Will Smith decided to go ahead and resign uh, from the Academy, so all board, the Academy board could do at that point was to give him a sanction of not being able to attend the ceremony for 10 years. They did not take his award, but they did sanction him from coming to the ceremony for 10 years. They could have sanctioned him for life, but they chose not to. During this time, though, where Will Smith is sanctioned, he can still be nominated for an Oscar and win. The only stipulation to all of that is that the board of directors are responsible for voting on who wins the award. So even if Will Smith is nominated, he still has to be signed off on by the same board that sanctioned him. But you never know. We're dealing with human beings, and we don't know how long it would take for Will Smith to get another picture that the board thinks is worthy of him being nominated for an Oscar. And as as I just stated, because they're human beings, they may decide that it's time to go ahead on and let be bygones be bygones. Okay. Now I this subject because when I was a child and we would do something wrong, or my grandmother would see someone else do something wrong, whether it was on TV or whatever the situation was, she would always ask this question: why? Just why? That's the question she'd ask. Why? Just why? Why would they do that? Why would he do that? Why would she do that? And so, in light of that, I'm thinking to myself in regards to Will Smith in this situation. If my grandmother was alive, she'd probably say, "Why? Just why? Did this situation take place?" And I try to pretty much remain neutral in conversations that I bring to you all. I just present the information and as it is. And if I say anything, basically, I am just expounding on what um, I have heard someone else say, or from a biblical perspective, or even just elaborating on information or knowledge that I have about the subject from a scholarly perspective. But as far as like just giving my own major opinion on something, I try to be as kind and pliable as I can and as neutral as I can and watch my words because I wouldn't appreciate anybody saying a whole lot of junk about me. But at the same time, these are subjects, these are matters of that are real situations, and this is for real and no nonsense, straight talk for real life situations. So I just basically present it like the old people say, as it as it is, and some people may agree, and some people may not agree. But here we are, and here we go. Now, in 1966, Percy Sledge recorded a song, and this song is called "When a Man Loves a Woman." The first verses of this song says, "When a man loves a woman, um, he can't keep his mind on nothing else. He changed the world for the good things he's found. The good thing he's found. If she's bad, he can't see it. She can do no wrong. Turn his back on his best friend if he puts her down. When a man loves a woman, he spent his very last dime trying to hold on to what he needs. He'd give up all his comforts and sleep out in the rain if she said that's the way it ought to be. Now, let's make it clear that I am not saying Jada Pinkett Smith is a bad woman. I don't know Jada Pinkett Smith, but I will say that Will Smith, and no pun intended, when I said I will say Will Smith, I will say Will Smith is in love with his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. He is in love with her in his heart, and he is in love with her in his soul. And those two things are very powerful. Good Morning America discussed Denzel Washington's responses to witnessing Will Smith's slap Chris Rock at the Oscars. And their news piece was done on Denzel Washington's conversation with Bishop T.D. Jakes when he had one of his summits that he usually has. And Denzel Washington said to Bishop Jakes, that the devil ignores you when you're doing something wrong. Often the devil comes after you if you are doing something right. Here for the grace of God go any of us. The only solution is prayer. Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry both prayed for Will Smith after he slapped Chris Rock. Neither one of them discussed what they prayed about. Now, many people have weighed in on this incident, from celebrities to everyday people. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, NBA Laker, wrote a column entitled "Will Smith Did a Bad Thing." He stated that the incident at the Oscars, on the Oscar stage, perpetrated a stereotype against about the black community. That's what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said, and he said this uh, in his column entitled "Will Smith Did a Bad Thing." And then Steve Harvey went on to say on his show, after Will Smith had slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars, he went on to say on his show that if Will Smith had slapped any of the kings of comedy, they would have had to have immediately gone to a commercial break, uh, and because it wouldn't. He basically said it wouldn't have gone down like that. He felt that Chris Rock could have been taken aside by Will Smith behind stage and discuss some things with him. At that point, he could have dealt with it, but to put him on Front Street like that in front of everybody was just all kinds of wrong as a black man. That's what, in so many words, what Steve Harvey went on to say. In fact, he said that was some Hollywood A mess, and y'all know what A stands for, uh, and what Steve Harvey means. Um, some people, including Steve Harvey, do think that Chris Rock intentionally uh, meant to harm Jada Pinkett Smith, and that he even had any knowledge that Jada Pinkett Smith had her medical health condition, which is alopecia. And for those of you who don't know, alopecia is an autoimmune disease. Okay, it doesn't just affect the hair; it can affect other parts of the body. But even with that said, I saw on the internet, and I don't know uh, who wrote this piece on the internet, but I saw this post on the internet that I thought was interesting, and it gave a little in-depth thought to what Chris Rock said about Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, the post said that the GI Jane comment that Chris Rock referenced uh, from the movie that Demi Moore played in as the character G.I. Jane. He said, the person rather, because I don't know what the person was, stated that this reference about Jada Pinkett's medical condition was actually um, uh, a a a way of being sneaky and referencing how Jada Pinkett Smith, like Demi Moore, had an affair on her husband. Okay? Because Demi Moore had an affair with Ashton Kutcher when she was married to Bruce Willis, and Ashton Kutcher rather, is way younger than Demi Moore. Okay? And Jada Pinkett Smith had an affair with her son's friend, August Alsina, who is way younger than her. So the person who wrote this gave a really deep perspective. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know. because only God knows the hearts of man. But at the same time, it makes you think. And I hope that that was not what Chris Rock did, because Chris Rock, just like Will Smith, is a person in Hollywood that people really like, and all over the world he's really liked and respected. And I would hope that he is bigger and better than that to have done something like that. With that said, recently August Alsina wrote a song entitled "Shake the Room," and in this song he makes an off-cuff statement remark about his entanglement or relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith. And in one of the verses, he states, "Well, of course, some S, okay, is bound to go down when you tangle up with the world's favorite." Now, Oxford Dictionary defines entanglement as a complicated or compromising relationship or situation. So, what August Alsina is basically saying that he was in a compromised situation with Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, he may have been in a compromised situation with Jada Pinkett Smith, but in that compromised situation, he was not forced to do anything that he did not want to do. So he was a willing participant. So the word compromise should be used loosely at this point, because he did what he wanted to do, and the only thing that was compromised was her marriage. Because August Alsina is not married. Jada Pinkett Smith is. So basically, she compromised her marriage by sleeping with him. Am I judging her? No. I'm just stating the fact. Okay? Now, I do think that Will Smith, as nice as we want to go ahead and people, when people want to say like, okay, Will Smith um, is not that kind of person where he would just get after somebody and just get out of sync with them. Well, Will Smith is still a human being, and that's not taking anything away from him. But even as my own mother said, she had never seen him get that upset about anything um, as a grown man, or just go out of his way, not out of his way, but just out of himself, as people are used to him being consistent in his behavior. She does not remember or recall of him acting like that. So the only thing that I can think of is that it's a matter of the heart. And sometimes when the heart is hurt and a person uh, feels pain or betrayal, it can reflect in an expression or an outburst of anger. And I think that Will Smith feels hurt, betrayed, disappointed, embarrassed, and betrayed. I know it's a harsh word, but I think betrayed to a certain extent by the person he loves from his heart. And it was hard for me to use that word, because when a person is betrayed, that doesn't necessarily mean that they will leave the person that they feel betrays them, because there's a power of forgiveness. And I think that that's where Will is with Jada Pinkett Smith. But even in that power of forgiveness of Jada Pinkett Smith, I don't think that he appreciates and has forgiven what other people have said about the woman that he loves. I have even read what some men have called Jada Pinkett Smith derogatory derogatory names. Um, but I am not moved by that, because men do things all the time, and very seldom you hear them called derogatory names. Uh, I think that a lot of times they get a pat on the back, and it's more like, oh yeah, he did that, with that young woman. Oh, he's something else. He still got it. But when a woman does something, it's derogatory, shame on her, and pretty much like the movie in the book of Scarlet Letter, you know, A for adultery, and stuff like that. She should be ashamed of herself. Well, that double standard is not right, and that's where grace comes in. And I think that everybody involved needs grace. I think that Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry were right for playing with and for Will Smith, because Will Smith loves his wife and he is hurt by what people say about his wife, because he does not want to quit his wife. And we're not in an intimate relationship with them, so we don't know the ins and outs of their relationship. We don't know what she needed from him and felt like she was not getting from him. We don't know what he needed from her and felt like he was not getting from her. We don't know if they had a meeting of the minds and decided to to agree to disagree, or to just leave some things alone and never address them again. A person's marriage is just that. It's their marriage. It's their decision. Will Smith does not have to divorce his wife just because people think he should, and Jada Pinkett Smith does not have to divorce Will Smith just because people think she should, because they think that she's bringing him down. Because that's some of the comments that I've heard. Well, she's bringing him down. Well, whether she is or is not, Will Smith is a grown man and he's capable of making his own decisions. And he made the decision to stay with his wife. And I think that Chris Rock was letting everybody know, not just Chris Rock, but everybody that has been talking about his wife. I think he was saying, and he reiterated that, keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth. I think he was saying to everybody, stop talking about the woman that I love in a negative manner. It hurts me. Don't say anything about her. Even any off joke that is something small and people may think it's minute. Don't say that. That hurts me. Will Smith is a man, I think, like I said, a man in pain. And I think that this is the way he's showing his pain. I also think that Will Smith may need counseling. I think that he may need counseling, marriage counseling, and that maybe he and Jada Pinkett may need individual counseling, and the family may need counseling as a whole. Because Jada Pinkett Smith still slept with her son's friend. That's me thinking. But they can decide that they don't need to do that. And hey, I can't do anything about it, but I will pray about them, because the whole thing was embarrassing. It was really embarrassing, and the board felt like that they could have done more to deal with Will Smith at the time. They even went so far as to have the police talk to Chris Rock backstage, and Chris Rock decided that he didn't want anything done to Will Smith. And Will Packer was there listening at the conversation. And even though Chris Rock had decided that he didn't want to press charges against Will Smith, the police was still going to remove Will Smith from the Oscar ceremony. But Will Packer went over and said Chris Rock did not want that, and knowing that he wanted him arrested. because they're trying to remove Will Smith, and Will Smith had already said he was not leaving, could have led to a combustible situation in which he could have been arrested for refusing to leave. So those are some of the dynamics that I found out from different interviews from people that were involved. Now, the Bible tells us in Proverbs 26:20 that for lack of wood, the fire goes out. And where there is no whisper, quarreling ceases. And I think that's where Chris Rock was when he made that decision and told the police, no, I don't want him to have to leave. And I don't want him arrested. I think Chris Rock thought about some things and thought about maybe he should not have said that about Will Smith. And so when he thought about from that perspective of how he would feel if someone had made a joke like that about someone that he knew, I think that's why he just went and said that what he said that he did not want to Swift. I think that was a way of putting out the fire because that was a combustible situation. Now, people can continue to talk about this and discuss this as I think they will until just something else comes up that gets their attention, and this is old news. Or until next year's Oscar show when they want to see if they're going to have Will Smith and Chris Rock get together and maybe have to shake each other's hand, make a joke about what happened as far as the incident to let everybody know that they're in good standing. Because that's what people do. But either way, there still needs to be some soul and not just doing things for cosmetic reasons. And what I mean by cosmetic reasons, I mean superficial reasons, not real sincere reasons about why they're doing something. Just do it because they want to be politically correct or that they want to keep certain endorsements or opportunities open for employment. Let's be sincere because you're dealing with people's hearts. And Will Smith, the behavior that he exhibited, we don't know if that is something that could really end up being traumatizing situation for him in the long run, and even Chris Rock, because Chris Rock is a grown man who was mishandled on a worldwide stage. He's still grown man. Now, some people say he got what he got. Maybe so. But Chris Rock was not his face. Will Smith walked over to that man, walked on stage to that man and slapped him. That's a whole different dynamic. I'm agreeing with the joke. Do I think Chris Rock should have said it? No, I do not. At all. Do I think that it should have been handled? Yes. How it should have been handled? I do not know. I do not know those individuals. But I do know this, that the best thing to do for everybody involved is to pray. I once heard this saying, and I've said it myself after hearing it. Sometimes the devil runs through town and gasoline draws letting all hang out. Just trying to burn up everything. Just trying to burn up everything as he goes. Only the Holy Spirit can quench the devil's fiery flame, as indicated in Proverbs 26 and 20 that I just read, which says, "For lack of wood, the fire goes out, and where there is no whispers or quarreling ceases." And that's with any situation. The truth be told, I like Will Smith, I like Chris Rock, I like Jada Pinkett Smith. And I hope and pray that none of their careers or personal lives are negatively affected by what transpired on March 27, 2022. I hope that something good comes out of it that will be a blessing to them and everyone that knows about it. And I ask God not to let anything bad have to happen to anybody for that to transpire. That is my hope and that is my prayer. Yes, there was an entanglement at the Oscars. People were entangled in this incident that were not even present. What transpired, as I stated earlier, I think was a response to all the social media, all the whispering, all the funny looks, all the laughter that Will Smith saw, that he felt was towards his wife and him for staying with her. I think all those things came together and Will Smith did what he did because he is very, very bottom line. And I also think that this is why sometimes people should not express what goes on negatively in their marriage. Sometimes it should never be discussed with anybody but the two of you. Because when other people know it, pride gets into it. But when only the two of them know it, there's a lot that they can take from each other if nobody knows how they have offended each other. That's just me saying that. But I'm not God. I just shared my thought on that with you. God has the last say so on all of it. Well, I hope that you enjoyed today's show. Johnny, thank you so much for watching. I'm glad to have you back and know that you're better. Thank you, everyone else who's watched. And I want you all to keep in mind that we have Easter coming up and that we have so much to be thankful for. And let me say this one last thing. There's so much going on in the world with COVID and now the new variant of COVID. Went from Omicron to the new variant that is out. And then People all over the world are being displaced, and there's so many things happening for whatever reason that are not positive. America, we're still blessed. If all that is the most that consumes conversation right now is Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. So with that, let's all give thanks. And since Easter is coming up, this is a great time to do it. I love you all and thank you so much for tuning in to the show. God bless you, and God willing, I'll see you next week. Goodbye.